Good morning. We are here doing this series of interviews with TexasGOPVote and Bosses Action. And this morning we're with Representative Kenneth Sheets, Mayor Kenneth Sheets. That's right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. It's so good to be here with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for taking time off of session to be with us this morning. I would like to ask you, Mr. Sheets, about if you can tell us a little bit about the people in your district and what are the issues that they are concerned the most.
Well, I represent District 107, which is the East Dallas area, which includes the Lakewood area, the Lake Highlands area, East Dallas, a little bit of Garland, a little bit of Mesquite. It's a very diverse area, both when you're talking about socioeconomic areas and then when you're also talking about the population that's within the district. The district is centered, for the most part, around White Rock Lake. And the most important issues, I think, for our district are the education issues and obviously the budget issues as we're dealing with those and what effects the budget issues will have on our schools and also on our nursing homes and other areas of our state.
One of the exciting times for me to be here with you this morning is the funny way that we met. I got actually a Facebook message from you to me asking me to be your friend in Facebook. That was interesting because you actually saw a debate that I had in Fox News with Mr. Domingo Garcia.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I was so impressed that this candidate for a state representative was contacting me, but certainly I saw that you have a specific interest about the Hispanic community, and
Absolutely.
that caught my attention a lot. I appreciate that. And you are a member of the Hispanic Republican Conference of this House of Representatives. Can you tell me why did you choose to be a member of the Hispanic Republican Conference?
Well, as I stated earlier, our district is a very diverse district, and the latest census data just proves that even more. By block walking and getting out there and knowing the voters that are out there and the citizens that are out there, it was obvious that the Hispanic population in East Dallas and in District 107 was growing. And the previous data obviously was outdated data, but when we saw the census data and saw that I believe we now have close to 37% Hispanic population in the district, that was no surprise to me, but I knew all along that we need to reach out to Hispanic vote because our country is one of inclusion, and this is a new population. Actually, it's not a new population in Texas, but it is a growing population in Texas, and we need to embrace that population and their traditional values, and I think their traditional values flow very well with the Republican platform.
That's right, we are the same values. That's one of the things that I saw in your campaign. When you were campaigning, you were surrounded with all the groups, and everybody was supporting, and you got the support of several Hispanic groups, conservative groups, and that was encouraging to see that the people really wanted you to take over that seat, and you did, and we congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Now, talking about that Hispanics will soon make 50% of the Texas population, and the future success of the Republican Party depends on their vote. What do you suggest to attract Hispanics to the Republican Party?
You know, I think we just need to be who we are. We need to reach out, we need to communicate with the Hispanic population. I do believe the traditional values that most Hispanics believe in are in line with the Republican platform, especially when we're talking about a large percent of Hispanics are also Catholics. And I believe when we're talking about pro-life issues and we're talking about traditional values, I believe those are in line with the Republican values. I also believe that the work ethic of the Hispanic population demonstrates is in line with the Republican caucus. You work hard and you make a good living for yourself and your family. This country has proven over and over again that if you work hard and through your labor you can make something of yourself so that you and your family can have a better life.
That's right. Well, we have been seeing you working since you came into session pretty hard, and it's interesting that one of the legislations that you have been working has to do with to ban the bath salts what are bath salts anyway? And can you tell us a little bit about this legislation?
Yes, ma'am. Bath salts is actually not the stuff we're talking about that you may use, and that I know my wife and my mother use to take a bath with. It is bath salts is, I think, a code name is the best way to put it, for a substance that you can buy at a lot of novelty shops. Comes in a little container about this big, and that container is probably an eighth of the way full. It's not enough to take a bath with, I can tell you that. It's a very dangerous substance that's used as a synthetic form of cocaine. It mimics the effects of cocaine and methamphetamines. It is a very dangerous and potent substance, and studies have reflected that it is more addictive than cocaine. It's more addictive than methamphetamines. We just recently read an article about a gentleman, I believe he was in the United Kingdom, who took this stuff, and he was caught out in the woods doing some very inappropriate things. But part of the side effects of this substance is paranoia, and it is reflective in the story and what this gentleman was doing. It also creates psychosis. There are stories about young men who have taken the substance and have been in comas for in excess of 3 weeks, medically induced comas, so that they could get the substance out of these individuals' systems. It is a very dangerous substance, and thankfully I've been able to work with some bipartisan support, and I actually both Garnett Coleman, who's a Democrat representative, both he and I worked together to pass a bill. It's actually going to be his bill that's going to pass instead of mine, but for me it's making sure that the issue is taken care of.
Sure. Well, one of the things, Mr. Sheets, that attract me also to see about your values is the fact that you are pro-life, and your vote was important to pass the Sonogram bill. Thank you very much for doing so. Can you tell me a little bit why it's important for you, this bill of the Sonogram bill?
Well, I think the Sonogram bill is important for several reasons. One is when we're talking about the children that this affects, it's giving them a chance for their parents to view the baby, the fetus, before they make this decision. And that happens in every medical decision that we make. If we're going to go under a surgical procedure, the doctors provide us with all the information. And the honest truth is, right now, the women are undergoing the sonograms when they're electing to have abortions. The problem is they're not being given the opportunity to view them. So while this legislation mandates that sonograms be done, that's already happening. The important part is that it's making sure that the women have a right to look at these sonograms before they make this choice, and it's empowering women so that they can make a choice, whether it's the choice of the pro-life choice, or if it's the pro-life choice, that's great. And if they make the decision to abort the fetus, at least they had the opportunity before they made their choice, what they have a right to do. But at least they had the chance to look at the sonogram.
I appreciate that you did vote for that bill, sir. The other thing that I appreciate very much, and I want to thank you, is for serving our country. You did serve in the Marines.
Yes,
and for how long was that?
Well, I'm actually still serving in the reserves. I just reached 15 years in January, and I'm real thankful for everything that the Marine Corps has done for me. I've learned a lot, and I've grown a lot because of the Marine Corps.
Yes, I know that. Well, I don't know if you would like to add anything else that you care right now about this legislation that is important. If you want to say a few words about what else are you trying to pass during the rest of the session?
You know, I was really excited about, we did get to pass some tort reform legislation. A lot of people are selling that as a loser pay system. I think by working with the members of the Texas bar, not the bar itself, but members of the bar, we've been able to craft a piece of legislation that is not as far extreme as a lot of people were concerned about this legislation was going to be. We've been able to make it a better piece of legislation, and I'm really thankful that Representative Creighton allowed me to join onto the bill and to work with that piece of legislation. And I'm hopeful today that when we take it up for third reading, we'll be able to add some amendments onto it to address some concerns that other individuals had with it as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheets. Well, I want to thank you for serving our country, first of all, for serving your district, and for serving all the people of Texas.